Kristaps Porzingis is like, for anybody who had any reservations at all about bringing him in and this and that. I understand injuries. I understand the different things that, you might be worried about. But oh my goodness, like this is a different thing that they have here than anything that they've had before. And like he just came out and announced his presence with authority.
And the thing that is kind of amplifies that is the fact that if you go back and you look at those first like 3, 4, 5 possessions and the ridiculous spacing that they had, it's like you can't double anyone. You can't help on anyone because there's literally 3 other guys that can knock down wide open shots. And Porzingis is a big part of that effect. He can get buckets in the paint. He can get buckets to mid range. He can shoot the 3. And he's shown to be a better defender than I thought. That was the thing that I was most concerned about him. Could he be a liability at the defensive end of the floor? And at least against New York, he wasn't. It'll be interesting to see when they play teams that play a little bit smaller, how he handles dealing with a smaller, more perimeter-oriented big. But again, he seems to be the ideal fit for what they need to upgrade from where they were a year ago.
He was a beast defensively. I just saw a stat on ESPN, put some stats
I thought
out.
he had 5 blocks. 4?
He had 4.
Yeah, 4. Okay.
He had 4 blocks. First player in NBA history with 5 threes and 4 blocks in a team debut. Kristaps Porzingis, everybody.
I find those stats so freaking fun.
Well, it just goes to show you that he does it on both
arbitrary.
Yeah, it is, but it isn't, because it's 3-point shooter and somebody with a presence, down low theoretically. So 30 points, most points in a Celtics debut. I don't know if you've heard, Celtics are a pretty storied franchise. And Sherrod, your defensive stat held the Knicks to 20% shooting, 3 of 15 when he was contesting a shot.
And he was contesting his ass up at the start of the game. I mean, a lot of those shots that the Knicks were missing early on, he had a hand in someone's face, or he was pinning it on the glass or swatting it. This was again, what he does offensively doesn't surprise me because he's always been a good scorer. Always. It was always the defense that was a problem. I remember, when during one of the preseason games, Brad did like an in-game interview where he was talking about, when he was coaching the team, they went at Porzingis because that's what everyone did. You go at him and force him to play defense. You can't do that as much now.
No, and you hope that.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's up?
I just want to say what's up to Big Cass there.
Oh, what's up, Big Cass?
Yeah. Normally in the building.
Normally comes in a little later. I just wanted to acknowledge that we see you, brother. We're good to have you. And good to have all of you guys. Obviously, like night one, a lot of people out there. And thank you guys for joining us rather than digging in right now and watching watching Grant Williams' Dallas debut.
Full disclosure, I'm multitasking.
Are you? Should I pull it up here?
Yeah.
All I'm seeing is Luka's score. San Antonio scores.
How'd Marcus do tonight?
I don't know. You will like this, though. Celtics fans will like this. Wemby's first block, Kyrie Irving.
Oh, hell yeah. I do like that a lot, actually.
But yeah, you could be watching Grant Williams' debut. You're watching us instead, so we do appreciate it. We're going to talk about a ton more stuff, including
Marcus Smart, 15 points, 6 of 11, 1 of 2, or 2 of 6 from 3.
We're going to dig in a little bit on Jalen, on Joe, and the bench a little bit. Not too much. We're going to talk about some things and what they might portend. And, it's not necessarily how it's going to be forever, but there's definitely some concerns that some people have regarding some things. And we saw a lot of them on night one. And I'm not going to lie. You saw a lot of them. So we'll get into that a little bit. Just a little bit. I promise we will be gentle, okay? We will be gentle.
Yeah. Just easy.
Really light stuff.
It's
really
game
light.
1.
No anger. Yeah. This isn't, we're going to be all right. But
John with the disclaimers out the gate.
Yeah, I'm just telling you, it's going to happen. If you're going to get triggered, we already had somebody hit Jimmy up on Twitter. Yeah, somebody hit Jimmy up on Twitter. I can't do it, man. Can't listen to the Jalen stuff. Okay, that's fine. You don't have to. I get it. I'm just
warning. Yeah, they literally
you may say some things, and your delicate, virgin ears may, be. But we're not going in hard tonight. We're not. Okay.
This is Kareem. He said, that's why I stopped watching the show. I don't feel like hearing people cry every game, bringing my mood down after a win.
He said it with that indignant tone.
Yeah. And then John said, well, bye.
Bye.
HelloFresh makes it really, really, really easy to make sure that you're maintaining and eating real food as opposed to just reaching into the cupboard and grabbing whatever you can on the go. And it's terrific. And again, if you don't have the time to shop and to do all of the prep work, HelloFresh is the way to go. Go to HelloFresh.com/CLNS50. That's HelloFresh.com/CLNS50. Use the code CLNS50, 50% off plus free shipping. It's a really good deal. Once again, America's #1 meal kit.
The KP stuff is interesting because, how many times were Celtics fans flexing over the 30-30 Jalen and Tatum games? Like, you think Jalen's sitting in the corner with a little tear right now? Like, oh, he did it with Kristaps. Like, that's going to happen. And again, we talk about our BS predictions we made the night before. Many of them are rooted in some things that we believe. I really do believe, just based on why in the world, why did we spend time, any of us who spent time thinking about the notion of splitting up the Jays? Is it because you hated one player or you thought they weren't good at basketball? No, you wanted something different, a different type of player who played a different position and could approach scoring in a different way than Tatum, who's clearly the alpha on this team. And you're kind of seeing Porzingis assert himself in that way early on. And I think it's going to happen a lot because it's another viable option that does something different than what I do. That is, if you're Tatum and you're going to have the ball in your hands and he's going to be working those screens and they're going to start to realize that they can get it to him. I think that's going to happen a little bit. And we talked a little bit about Brown being marginalized some. That could happen, but he could also end up being more effective by what you said, Sherrod, leaning into defense, being a facilitator, almost taking that Ray Allen role, recognizing, all right, it's KG and Pierce here and they're going to do their thing. So I'm going to have to kind of adapt a little bit, and I say this all the time. Ray Allen was not a run your ass off around screens player in his early days. He was give me the ball and get the F out of my way. I'm going to score player. That's who he was. Celtics fans think that's what he did his whole life, like some of them. That's not what he did his whole life. He wasn't an off-ball player just running around screens relentlessly. He'd run like 2 marathons a game playing for Boston. But that's what it took to make his mark, and he was friggin' phenomenal doing that. So, you might see an evolution of Brown as things kind of go on here.